This is one of his recent uploads 10 days ago. Are rhinos OP? Please no toss, man. Yo, Twitch, if there's like any gore or bloody animals, it's all educational purposes. We're learning about educational stuff here, okay? Cool. Damn! Damn!
The Rhinoceros is one of the most formidable builds in the game.
Did Hunt ever respond? You're not gonna lie, y'all though. He's being an egoist about it, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I didn't want to break the bad news to you, bro, but he's being an egoist about it, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
The largest, fastest, or smartest builds in the current meta, they're undoubtedly top 5 when it comes to raw power and defense. Their most iconic feature, their massive, fearsome horn, has a wide variety of uses, both in and out of combat.
I ain't gonna lie, give me a rhino horn, I'm going crazy.
This, combined with the Rhino's other special abilities, make it seem like an overpowered top-tier build. But Rhinos have...
Let a nigga look at me wrong, nigga. I'm straight penetrating. I ain't gonna lie, you get, nigga, I'm Rhino hooking your shit down, nigga. I'm gonna fuck, nigga.
Some less obvious weaknesses that might change the equation a bit. In today's video, we'll go over all of the pros and cons to determine. So first, let's take an in-depth look at the Rhinoceros's unique traits and special abilities. Starting, of course, with its horn. The Rhino's horn is one of the most powerful weapons, not just in the current meta, but in the entire history of the game. While not all of the variants of the Rhino build invest heavily into the horn skill tree, some Rhinos, particularly the white Rhino, have horns which can get up to 5 feet long. With the full force of a charging behemoth behind it, this horn can easily one-hit any player unfortunate enough to get caught at the other end. This length gives Rhino players a massive forward threat range that other players can often underestimate, especially when factoring in the Rhino's surprisingly high speed stat.
Yeah, like, bro, that build is actually broken as fuck. Defense, offense, agility, and like, bro, you have everything, bro. Like, that's actually unfair build.
With a top speed of roughly 30 miles per hour, they often catch careless players off guard with how quickly that giant horn can get within spearing distance. Now, oftentimes, one of the main weaknesses of this sort of playstyle, i.e. the kind of build with a large, powerful skull-mounted weapon, is that if an opponent is able to get inside of your optimal threat range, either by dodging your first attack and punishing the end leg, or by approaching from a difficult to defend angle, you may have little left in terms of defenses and might just...
I ain't gonna lie, put me against a Rhino, bro. I'm straight mixing them, bro. Just don't get hit by the first... Bro, you gotta parry the first bull charge. Once you do that, let's clip. Easy.
Be out of options to fight off the attack. This is not the case with the Rhino.
It's like fighting them dumbass bulls and them tournaments they be doing with the red blanket and shit, bro. Like, I'm doing that to a Rhino easily, bro.
Because the Rhino has the best defense stats of any build in its weight class. It has extremely thick skin, which is packed full of fibrous material, making it highly resistant to piercing damage.
Hit it with a ole!
Rhinos to spar with each other without risking an instant game over. This also allows Rhinos to shrug off attacks from literally any predator.
You getting one shot, I'm not getting hit, period, nigga. That's getting perfect road.
Crushing bite of a hyena to the razor blade-like swipe of a tiger's claws. Rhinos aren't completely invincible, they're not bulletproof, and can't tank hits forever, but they've got a lot more room for mistakes than most builds. With all that being said, the Rhinoceros does have plenty of weaknesses.
Well, I was gonna say, it's like what you think about like this, bro. A shark code, bro. Once the shark code blows this basic attacks, right? Think about the shark code, the kick, and the swing. Think about that like the Rhino charge. Once they blow it, they defenseless, bro. They let you wail on them, bro. Easy.
The first of which is their extremely poor eyesight. Rhinos have eyes on the side of their head, which is meant to give them a wide field of view at the cost of binocular vision, aka the ability to judge the distance to another player or object in 3D space. However, a Rhino's vision is so poor that it can only detect basic shapes past roughly 10 yards, meaning they cannot detect other players if they remain motionless. And what you get is a Rhino which can see all of the movement around itself, but is unable to quickly gauge whether or not that movement represents a threat. And so you'll commonly see Rhino mains getting stressed out and startled by the simplest of things.
But that's low-key a buff and a debuff. Like, you think anything smoke, so like if a nigga trying to sneak attack you type shit, you gonna charge at him regardless.
and also rhinos which attack anything that moves on sight.
Oh my
This
God.
of course is highly exploitable. Any stealth-based build will have an easy time concealing its presence from a rhino until it wants to make a move. But this vulnerability is also easily exploited by intelligence-based builds, such as the human or the elephant. By tactically using items or team strategies, high intelligence builds.
So I could get like a fucking big ass like a rhinoceros, a baby rhinoceros, throw that motherfucker across the map, get the attention of the mama rhinoceros, charge from behind. That's 2 rhinos smoked. Come on, bro.
Builds can easily distract or kite a rhinoceros into doing exactly what they
Exactly,
wanted.
that's what they kiting that
Whether it be
motherfucker.
to force a rhino to retreat from a fight that it could have won, or bait the rhinoceros into a trap. This lack of ability to discern friend from
You're not throwing the rhino? Nigga, I'm throwing a baby rhino, nigga. I'm tossing that motherfucker, bro.
foe means the rhino's potential allies may not be willing to allow a rhino to join their party, since the rhino may accidentally target a party member with an attack if it feels threatened.
Yo.
Thankfully, there is
that was
one build
legit.
which does make for a willing and effective team combo with the rhino, and that is the oxpecker. Oxpecker birds provide their allies with a low-grade parasite resistance buff, which is an important perk given how OP the tick build is in the current meta. But more importantly for the rhino, the oxpecker
Yo, I like
can
this. I like this channel. No. I didn't mean to do that. I like this channel. Dropping this up.
claws only detect basic shapes. Also rhinos
where the
which
fuck are
attack
we at?
anything that moves, kite a rhinoceros into doing exactly what they wanted.
All right, we can go right
Whether it be to force a rhino to retreat from a fight that it could have won, or bait the rhinoceros into a trap. This lack of ability to discern friend from foe means the rhino's potential allies may not be willing to allow a rhino to join their party, since the rhino may accidentally target a party member with an attack if it feels threatened. Thankfully, there is one build which does make for a willing and effective team combo with the rhino, and that is the oxpecker. Oxpecker birds provide
where
their
we was left
allies
at.
with a low-grade parasite resistance buff, which is an important perk given how OP the tick build is in the current meta. But more importantly for the rhino, the oxpecker can essentially function as the allies' third eye, watching their party members back and alerting them of any approaching enemies. And because the oxpeckers are so small and agile, they're not really at risk of being attacked by an overly aggressive rhino. Now, although rhinos can dish out some of the highest damage in the entire game to anything unlucky enough,
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm mixing a rhino, bro. These Jones is dumb, bro. They gotta be like, what's some dumb animals, bro? These gotta be top 3 dumb animals, bro. And I'm straight headbutting, shoulder stepping that nigga, bro.
to be caught in front of their giant horns. Another major weakness of theirs is their inability to threaten players approaching from behind them. Most herbivore builds, even those with equally impressive horns, make sure they spec into a powerful kick to ensure that they don't just automatically lose to any aggressor
Niggas over here running away from giraffes and think that I'm gonna lose to a rhino, bro.
that manages to get behind them. A rhino's legs are not tall enough nor fast enough to threaten a powerful kick, and so when a rhino gets surrounded, its only option is to
Hippos?
tank quite a few hits.
Bro, niggas don't know
Now,
about them
of course,
hippos,
their
bro.
thick armor does immensely help in this situation. But no armor in this game is completely impervious, and given enough time, a persistent predator can still deal damage, even to a heavily armored rhinoceros. This weakness is made worse by the fact that the rhino, like all mammals, has a weak point on its hindquarters, called the perineum.
Well, I told you, bro. Parry the first initial charge, jump around that joint, perfect dodge. Look, here's the plan. A rhino blitz your shit, right? You gonna perfect dodge the first initial rush. Jump behind that motherfucker and give it straight back shots, bro. It's fucking weak. It's weak.
Taking damage to this area can inflict a serious blood loss debuff.
Come on,
which
bro.
can
Look at that.
lead
Look at
to
that. Look at that.
even the
Oh!
rhino. Normally, it's the job of a player's teammates to guard their backside like this. But given the rhino's propensity for friendly fire, they can't always count on having allies that are willing to help. Unfortunately, as helpful as the oxpecker birds are, they aren't likely to try and challenge a lion in the middle of an ambush. So there's definitely quite a few downsides that come with playing this powerhouse of a build. There's also some variation within the rhino faction, allowing for players to optimize for their desired playstyle. If you just want to max out on your attack damage, you'll want to play as the white rhino, which sports the most powerful horn and largest size. If you care more about mobility and armor, you can opt for the Indian rhino, which is smaller and only has a single horn, but has better mobility both on land and in the water, and is
I'm not gonna lie, a single horn is not even that bad, bro. Because most likely in duels and skirmishes, you're not landing a critical 2-horn hit, bro. Your main horn is mainly landed. So what you want is you want a singular horn and you agile, tanky. This has to be the most broken build easily.
is also the more heavily armored of the two. Next, let's talk about individual matchups. First, big cats. Rhinos have essentially nothing to fear from the Felid build. Sharp as their claws might be, they simply aren't powerful enough to penetrate a rhino's armor. Big cats kill with a strangling bite to the throat, and there's basically zero chance of this attack strategy working against a rhino, especially seeing as any attempt at this would put them right in range of the rhino's primary attack.
Yo, tell me if I missed anything crazy, bro. I'm getting more to tell you.
Elephants. Rhinos are one of the few builds which actually can genuinely threaten serious damage against an elephant. Elephants don't have anywhere near as much armor as a rhino, so even a direct 1v1, the rhino's horn is likely to out-damage the elephant's tusks, if the rhino can manage to get within range. Unfortunately, the elephant has two major advantages over the rhino. The first is its range. The elephant's tusks outrange the rhino's horn, so even though the elephant's DPS is lower than the rhino's, the elephant's tusks can push the rhino out of range and prevent it from being able to put its horn to work. The second advantage is its intelligence. Elephants are especially adept at exploiting the rhino's lower intelligence and poor eyesight. By throwing objects towards a rhino, elephants can easily induce the frightened status condition in a rhino, causing the rhino to forfeit a fight it potentially could have stood a solid chance in had it held its ground. To be fair, it's not the worst indictment to have a losing matchup against an elephant. Hardly anything has a favorable matchup against them. But it's unfortunate that if the rhino didn't have these weaknesses, it actually would have a solid matchup against the elephant despite the size difference. Next, the hippopotamus. Hippos and rhinos are very similar in terms of their base stats. They're very similar in size, roughly equivalent in their base movement speed, and each can dish out incredible damage. The hippo has higher base HP, but significantly less armor. This is by far—
Wait. Are they saying hippos is losing skirmishes to rhinos, bro? Oh, shoot!
are the most even matchup on this list.
Yeah, I feel like it could go either way, bro. If a hippo land a good critical bite, then that motherfucker snap it, bro. I don't think anything survives a hippo bite. But if a rhino get a good crit in like in the artery, like when he hit the like a sweet spot with a puncture, you know what I'm saying? Maybe GG's hippo may bleed out a little bit, you know.
And a confrontation can easily go either way.
I'm mixing both. Feel me?
Rhino's susceptibility to intimidation does cause it to sometimes back down from fights it probably could win.
You watch the cheetah video
there are
next?
also
Say
plenty
less.
of cases of overly aggressive hippos getting hard punished for approaching too carelessly. Hyenas. As mentioned before, although the rhino does have excellent armor, the only predator that even realistically has a shot at inflicting—
Yo, why keep saying, oh, come on, bro?
be the hyena, which packs one of the
Bro, imagine dying from bleeding out the booty hole, bro. That's probably one of the worst ways to go out, bro. You bled out from the booty hole, bro.
strongest bite forces anything a rhino could ever encounter, second only to the crocodile.
Ass eating
It's
the
still
dome.
extremely rare for a pack of hyenas to bring down a rhino, but by persistently chipping away at the rhino's rear weak point, it can happen. The rhino has a solid matchup spread, but despite all of their incredible advantages, still end up taking a lot more L's than they should due to their heavily exploitable weaknesses. Although they're able to tank a lot of hits as an adult, their low intelligence stat allows enemy players to kite protective parents away from the low-level rhinos they were guarding, whether that be through distraction, intimidation, or team tactics. And with a respawn—
Can we talk about real predators, bro? They don't act like them, but they are. Fucking elephants. Them motherfuckers too smart to be out there, bro. They have probably the most unfair advantage in the entire fucking animal kingdom, bro. Them things is too smart to be out there, bro. It's like they smurfing in fucking bronze lobbies, bro. That shit is not fair, bro.
time of almost a year and a half,
They not predators. I just said that, bro. I just said that. They not predators, but they are low key. The way they be, you know what I'm saying? They be chilling till you fuck with them, but at the same time, they still probably top 3 most dangerous animals, bro. Feel me?
every defeat hits the rhino player base exceptionally hard.
You see the
The
elephant?
rhino build is quite
having.
powerful, but I actually think it's a bit over-invested in its combat stats at the cost of its own efficiency. This is likely because the rhino build was originally meant for much colder climates, where larger size was also simply an efficient design choice to provide the player with a cold resistance buff. During the Ice Age, the ancient variants of the rhino, such as the woolly rhinoceros, absolutely needed this extra bulk in order to fight off powerful threats like the short-faced bear and cave hyena. But with the largest threat to rhinos in the modern day being the tiger, rhinos don't really need this much physical force to be competitively viable. There also used to be a lot more variety to the Rhinoceros player base. Paraceratherium was the largest
What the fuck is on his nose? What the fuck is that?
terrestrial mammal build ever seen in the game, and essentially functioned as a mammalian sauropod. And yet for some reason, the tall grazer niche is dominated by the giraffe instead of the
Niggas say low milk? What?
Even though a Paraceratherium
What?
can easily win a 1v1 against the giraffe.
Ain't there a dinosaur called the Rhinoceros or some shit? What that junk called?
This may be a bit controversial, but taking into account their many weaknesses and seeing how out of place they are in the current meta compared to the Ice Age, I'm going to place the Rhinoceros into D tier. Low intelligence in particular leaves the Rhino helpless in the face of certain strategies. However, intelligence is something that can be leveled up with the right sort of training. In today's meta, abilities like coding, math, and data science are extremely useful. They're tough to learn unless you got a free and easy course designed to intuitively guide you through difficult concepts.
Oh shoot, I wasn't even paying attention, bro. They threw a little ad in this bitch.
That's precisely where today's sponsor, Brilliant, comes in.
Nice try, nigga.
It's also how I'm learning coding and data science.
Back to the
Instead
Rhino
of
video.
spending huge amounts of money and getting slapped. Thanks again to Brilliant for sponsoring,
I think that's the end of the video.
and thank you for watching.
Yeah, but this guy's, I like this content, bro. This is dope. I like this. Where's the cheetah video? Oh, he doesn't upload often either, bro. These be the best pet channels, but they upload once in a while, and when they, it's a nice little video to binge watch. You know what I'm saying? These be the toughest channels, bro. Let me see. Where the fuck is the snake tier list? We got snake. Robot wanted me to see the cheetah one. Damn, that motherfucker must be old, bro. Let's see. Which one should we watch? Are giraffes OP? Cows? Which one? Giraffes, snakes, or cows? Human? Where's the human one at? Let me see. Are humans OP 5 years ago? Sheesh.
This episode was sponsored by Skillshare.
This nigga been in the game for a minute, bro. Oh, nah. Oh, I thought that was a cliff, bro. I thought that nigga was dead. I thought he was dead. I thought it was a cliff. Wait, why would he be fishing off of... oh, never mind.
Human beings. Are they as overpowered as the game's community would lead you to believe? Short answer, yeah. They're the most meta-defining build of all time, and the undisputed top build in the current expansion. But believe it or not, this wasn't always the case. Humans used to get bodied left and right on a daily basis by other players. And it took a pretty long time before the player base learned how to actually make use of the human build's unique abilities. The story of the humans' rise to dominance is a really interesting one. And so today, we're going to do an in-depth look at the humans' abilities, their strengths, and their weaknesses. Because yes, they do have weaknesses. Well,
I mean, humans are easily S tier, no? Yeah, there's a lot of stupid ones, but there are humans that can pull off crazy shit. Like, humans can actually kill anything on this planet, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
we'll also go
ironic.
Over notable matchups, and finally look at the steps human players took in order to reach their dominant status.
I would say I'm a part of the reason the human's intelligence has been increasing. Like, if there was like a world survey of fucking intelligent humans and like niggas getting smarter, that'd be a main factor onto why the human intelligence has increased.
First, their unique abilities. I touched on this topic in my video about primates, but I'll recap here and also go into more detail. First off the bat, we have their ability to throw things. Other builds can throw things, but humans can do so harder, faster, and further than anyone else.
Blame social media, Yado.
The reason for this is their body structure. Bipedal builds are tough to balance, both in the game development sense and the center of mass sense. Throwing an item with any real force behind it requires serious balance, achieved only by having shorter arms and longer legs. This is why humans can launch projectiles at deadly speeds. whereas other primates kinda just lob things without putting much effort into it. If they tried to, they would knock themselves over. Even if chimpanzees could figure out how to craft a spear, there's no way they could throw it hard enough to deal any significant damage. Next, there's stamina regeneration. Humans can chase down anything. You try to run from a human, you might outspeed them initially, but you'll run out of stamina much sooner than they will, and they'll catch up to you while you're in your weakened state.
Tracking. So we got so far what we have the build advantage and we have fucking tracking capabilities. Okay.
This is partially because of their superior balance again, but mostly it's because of the human build's unique choice to not spec into fur. This gives them access to the extremely broken ability Sweat. Every other current build that's decent at distance running recharges
Wait, so
stamina
sweating
by
is
using the
broken?
move
Is
Pant.
that shit meta?
This works great, but it does require the user to stop running. Sweat, on the other hand, works better while moving, massively extending the distance a human player can run. They've got a few other important abilities that are essential to their kit, but aren't unique to humans. Their ability to speak is unique among mammals, but some birds can pull it off too.
Nigga said cooldown
In
boots.
humans, the ability to speak allows them to use one of their signature moves, Teach, which drastically boosts skill point gain, mitigating the main penalty a player receives upon getting a game over. Humans and birds also share another unique trait, which is being able to stand upright. Standing upright is extremely useful for dealing with stealth builds that might normally be using tall grass to hide.
So basically, humans. What's that one deep woken talent that lets you like learn things like at a faster rate? So basically, adept. Yeah, bro, that's pretty broken compared to like most animals that are born with the instinct to do things, but we're born with spawns of more animals teaching us this shit.
Tool use also might be thought of as a human-exclusive move,
humans may be a little bit,
and it certainly is the most
low
effective at humans,
unbalanced.
but it turns out a pretty wide
Nurse
array
will
of
be
other
made.
builds can also do it. Birds, primates, cephalopods, and even fish can use tools on occasion, but sweating and throwing, uniquely human. Now onto their weaknesses.
Okay.
And yes, it's true that currently most human players can subvert these with their crafting skill. But it's important to recognize that without equipment, the human build isn't necessarily unstoppable. The decision to not have fur granted humans a massive buff to mobility at the cost of stealth. In the mammal faction, fur is a prerequisite to all the major stealth abilities like camouflage, and lack of stealth abilities means getting in close on their targets is a serious challenge. The human build's lack of fur also means they have very low defense, both from physical attacks and from environmental effects. Bare skin offers almost zero armor, to the point where even players from lower weight classes have no trouble dealing damage to humans.
So being fat is an advantage at some point. Your blubber is your armor. Nerfs will be made.
And bare skin also takes quite a bit of damage from the sun too. Humans are also pretty limited when it comes to the power stat. Physically, they're the weakest of the great apes, and don't really have any good options for dealing damage. They lack the classic high damage bite attack that nearly every other non-herbivorous build relies on, instead having to resort to blunt attacks like punch and kick, which we all know aren't very effective against builds that have thick fur or skin. The last major weakness I can see is that they're
Nigga, my punch is knocking the Rhino straight out, bro. I'm being honest.
pretty bad at dealing with stealth. The lack of night vision means darkness can really hamper their ability to locate targets, and their lack of a strong sense of smell means camouflage is especially useful against them. Okay, now let's talk about matchups. Obviously, a key feature of the human build is being able to craft equipment. Given basic equipment like low-level armor and hunting gear, the human's best matchup is going to be medium-large mammals. Unlike blunt damage, piercing damage is quite effective versus builds with thick hide, but on defense they're actually pretty awful. A human's only option on defense against a large mammal is intimidation, unless they've got some crazy high-level equipment, but I'll make a video on power creep later. The classic human equipment cannot stop a charging tank main unless the intimidate attempt works. But overall, this matchup is one of the reasons humans
Yo, chat, word of advice. If you ever have a rhino or an elephant charging at you, make sure you stand still and yell. I promise you will back down. Believe me.
became top tier. Hardly any builds have favorable matchups against tanks. But that's not to say humans don't have their counters though. As I said before, stealth can be really effective against them due to their lack of a keen sense of smell and night vision. Humans have the ability to win pretty much any fight as long as they've got time to prepare, but taken by surprise, humans have a lot fewer options. Another thing humans have trouble dealing with is flight. Even when a human has a ranged weapon, players with high aerial mobility are pretty safe during flight. Now, as far as I know, there aren't any bird builds powerful enough to one-shot humans, which is important because blunt attacks like punches are actually quite effective against birds. Birds have hollow bones that are resistant to tension and torsion, but not compression. This is the opposite of mammal bones, which are resistant to compression and tension, but not torsion. The point is, birds aren't the best choice against humans, but flight has been unlocked by 4 different classes in the game. Birds, which we just discussed, aren't a good choice. Bats, which do even less damage than birds. Reptiles.
Am I a fucking idiot for not? I'm not even gonna say nothing. I'm not gonna be no.
Which unfortunately had their aerial builds banned in patch 1.3.1, and insects. Flying eusocial insects have by far the best matchup versus humans in the entire game.
Bro, bats are Are they not birds? Or am I fucking stupid? So what are they? What are they? Huh? Oh my gosh, you see what I'm saying? Here's how my shit tastes, bruh. Like, come on, bruh. Nigga, I ain't fucking know, bruh. Niggas was not interested in no damn bats back in school, bruh. What the fuck you talking about? Niggas saying go back to school. What would me knowing that a bat is a mammal bring to the table for any sort of beneficial, like, monetary value in the future, bro? What would me knowing that bring? Like, you niggas just chatted, bro. Niggas saying go back to stupid. Just shut the fuck up.
Flying eusocial insects have by far the best matchup versus humans in the entire game.
Nigga said bat work. Yeah, I want to be fucking claiming bats and cleaning up bat piss for the rest of my life. Shut the fuck up.
Humans have 0 counterplay against a swarm of stinging insects. I mean, sure, there are special items that they can use to combat swarms if they're prepared, but the amount of human mains who've chosen that as one of their prestige abilities is pretty small.
True.
Humans' lack of fur means they have no innate defense against stings. Stings also have the chance to proc the anaphylaxis debuff, which can actually lead to a game over. And it's for this reason that the high score for human eliminations belongs to the Africanized honeybee, known better by its community-given name, the killer bee. And even if the stings don't proc the allergic reaction effect, they will still definitely achieve their primary goal of dropping their resolve to 0 and granting you control over the territory. And we can
tell you, bro, you guys gotta start abusing your builds more, bro. You guys don't realize how much stronger we are than these animals, bro. Stop being so fearful. Feel me? If you see a fucking, if you, especially underwater, if you guys ever run into a stonefish, do not fear. Make sure what you want to do when you find a stonefish, the easiest way to kill a stonefish, right, is you step on it. So make sure if you are diving underwater and you run into a stonefish, make sure you remove your protective gear and you step on the stonefish. That would be the easiest way to take it out.
see that lately the viability of killer bees has
Do not, please, dude, I'm trolling. Nigga, that is the most poisonous fish, nigga. If you are in like the radius of a stonefish, bro, you dead, bro. Do not do that. It's a joke.
only been growing now that they've expanded their territory outside of Africa. Which brings me to my main point. Are humans overpowered? Well, just like the Africanized honeybee, humans really only became OP once they escaped the African server and invaded other areas.
What the fuck you trying to say, bro? You trying to say the African server was unintelligent and was lacking?
This is how humans took down megafauna across every terrestrial server except Africa. The African tank mains have the matchup experience and counterplay options to deal with the vast array of skills humans have access to. But the rest of the community was totally unprepared to deal with the rapid invasion of new human mains invading their competitive scene.
Nigga said that's your map,
In other words, the devs could have prevented the massive destabilization of the current meta if they'd region-locked humans. Staying competitive in the meta requires a good player constantly be leveling up their skills. There's no better example of this than the rapid rise to dominance that humans experienced. If you'd like to level up your own skills and unlock new ones, I highly recommend Skillshare.
This guy
Skillshare is an online...
pretty dope content. I like this guy, man. This is actually pretty dope content. Let's see if Nigga Blocks is ready. Alright, just like that.